Sire, and today's episode throws us straight into America's hottest headlines. No sugarcoating, just straight talk. First up, our nation's trust in leadership is on the line. Political tensions are boiling over as the Justice Department faces mounting pressure to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. With major figures caught in the crossfire, transparency is under the spotlight, and President Trump is shifting his stance, isn't making answers any clearer. Meanwhile, the country's economic heartbeat is pulsing on edge. A critical report on foreign chip imports, especially from Taiwan, is about to drop, threatening to shake tech supplies and supply chains and redefine national policy. What's the real risk if America loses its tech edge? And beyond our borders, a humanitarian nightmare unfolds in Gaza, where children face unimaginable hunger as international ceasefire talks yield more heartbreak than hope. The world is watching, but is anyone doing enough? So, Jonathan, if everything feels dire and divided, what do you think is driving the pulse of America today? Are we focusing on the right stories, or are we missing something deeper underneath?
Well, what's enjoyable is America can only focus on one thing at a time, apparently, but they've got to focus on Epstein. So run it into the ground, go with it, because this is like something every American can get behind as the what the heck is going on here.
Collectively, that's a topic. It seems like the Republicans and the Democrats all stand behind. We
and
don't like what Epstein did,
or what possibly Trump did.
possibly.
So for me personally, there's at least a dozen different topics right now at this moment that I'm frustrated about in America. And I'm disappointed that a lot of Americans aren't actually watching everything else that's blowing out of that administration right now. But
Right.
if they have to focus on one thing that will burn that guy to the ground, it's that. Like, fine, everybody line behind it, go take him out. But
Yeah, but we're not spending sufficient time. There's stuff going on in Gaza. There's stuff going on in Ukraine. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that the administration is handling horribly that
or
we
not
should
handling at
also be
all.
or not handling at all, or we should also be paying attention to. Like Hegseth is kind of a complete joke, right? I mean, I don't want to go off on off topic, but I'm just saying I just saw a few things earlier.
So again, I want to reiterate, like the Epstein thing is a topic that deserves attention, deserves to be continually brought up. It should be put in his face as much as possible going forward. But while that's happening and that point's being driven, there are a bunch of other things, like the economic reports are supposed to drop this week. Unemployment's going up. Inflation seems to be going up. Prices are going up. We're seeing increases in tariffs across the board in various ways. Like, oh, well, they negotiated this deal with, what was it, Vietnam, and went
Vietnam,
from
but there was no
20%
deal.
to 19%. And they
Well, what I saw is they
negotiated,
were denying that. They were denying that this deal.
and well, no, Japan did. So
Oh, is that Japan?
Japan basically, God, that thing. So
Hey guys,
everybody go look
this
that
is
one
an
up.
opinion. This is an opinion podcast. I want to put that out there. We're
Just
just a
two
couple
hours,
of Americans trying to make sense of what the hell is happening here.
but like all that's a mess. And then he talks about the letters haven't gone out yet, but then he said the letters went out. Like, there's no ability for me as a citizen reading the sources I have to know what's going on with our administration. And that fact alone is just immensely saddening for me as a whole.
Yeah.
And you're right, there are a lot of things that are dire. There's a lot of people talking about, oh, well, this thing's not as bad as it sounds as this. Like Gaza and Israel's now decided to, this is what I read, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but they're going to slow down some of their attacks in certain areas in order to allow aid to come through, and new ships with aid are supposed to be coming in to help with the starvation factor. So that sounds like a good thing to me. Maybe it's like, I don't like starving kids. So
If that's it, then that does sound good. But yeah.
but it also is like, well, they also intercepted a ship supposedly today, and I don't know what that means. Are they going to search it and then send it on its way? Or are they going to capture it and keep it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But starving kids equals bad in my brain. But then again, Texans love that because they're getting rid of school lunches for poor kids. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole coal and oil and that fight versus nuclear versus, what was it Trump said? He was flying to Scotland, which we paid for, by the way. The American taxpayers paid for Trump to go and open his golf course in Scotland. We're paying the bill for that, but we're cutting school funding and we're cutting Medicare or Medicaid, one of those, maybe both. I don't know.
Medicaid. That's what
But we're spending money to go send the president to open his golf course for his
And they're
private
protesting
finances.
him over there. They were protesting his being in Scotland.
Was it a president said, "I'm busy washing my hair" when he doesn't have hair or something like that?
That's hilarious. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was,
But
I
we're
forget.
not being viewed on the world stage as a leader of the world. We're being mocked openly by leaders.
Yeah, there was a quote that I read, and it still feels true today. And he was in, I can't remember if it was UK or Canada, and he basically said, "We are being asked to choose between puppy kisses for the next 4 years or perpetual diarrhea." And it's like Americans can't decide which one they really want. And
They're
then
leading on
after the
diarrhea.
election, he goes, "You guys chose perpetual diarrhea over puppy kisses? Are you serious?"
Every time, make America great. Make
Yeah.
America great.
And I mean, I get all the rhetoric, and yeah, the Democrats definitely hosed it up, and they definitely aren't showing much signs in it. I still need to go back and watch the Gavin Newsom thing with um, Diary of a CEO. I want to hear that because he is the possible next presidential candidate coming out of the Democrats. And
What do you think of that? He's definitely posturing that way.
So I'll sum it as best I can. I personally have had very little exposure to his politics and his rhetoric and how he talks. I'm going to now have to start paying a lot more attention and go back and watch some of his podcasts. Like, he runs his own podcast, and the summaries I've heard of it have been he's towing a little too central and is maybe reiterating points he shouldn't from as a Democrat that are more Republican leaning viewpoints.
That sounds like a strategy.
Well, there is a lot of people saying that we need a president that is more towards center and not solely left or solely right in order to regroup. And with as many Republicans / MAGA, depending on how you want to divide that line, getting frustrated with Trump and looking for somebody, an alternative that is closer aligned with their views, a more centralist candidate may have a better chance of winning and maybe realigning the country outside of some kind of major war epidemic. So
like
maybe it's better.
What about like a Rand Paul?
Rand Paul went from the circles that I've seen, this is just from what I've seen, went from being somebody that people really held up to being a laughing stock. And I think Trump has thrown him under the bus enough, like, oh, that guy always votes no, and that kind of rhetoric, that maybe he's been burnt as a possibility. But then who knows? Maybe Gavin Newsom picks him as his running mate. Maybe we finally see a cross of the lines of.
Let me be clear. I don't like
Democrat and a Republican.
I was just saying, he's not like totally far right, and he's not really left. I wouldn't say he's in the center.
Picking a rattlesnake after the diarrhea toxic orange beast we've got in the office now, it's kind of like, okay, that sounds better. I can handle a rattlesnake, but the diarrhea orange Cheeto is like hard for me. But I going back to what you were asking originally, are we focusing on the right things? Is like, no, but at the same time, America doesn't seem to be very good at managing multiple points of focus. Like, Epstein is a definite point of focus. It deserves attention. It deserves the effort to continue moving that downfield, challenging the rhetoric, fighting the misinformation. Like, I saw a whole misinformation segment on Threads yesterday where people had AI generated content trying to say that the lawyer for Epstein said that Trump wasn't in it. And it's like, this is fake. Like, I can tell it's fake. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people were like very excited and promoting it. And I was like, no, guys, this is like, that guy died. He didn't say these words yesterday. Jeez. So I don't know. But like, trade's still a mess. We're starting to see some inflation. We're seeing massive layoffs. We're seeing multiple companies, large companies, posting massive losses, and they're saying it's tariffs. What was it? Stellantis is estimating several billion in losses. We're seeing Ford talking about issues, and Chevy talking, like almost every car manufacturer's because of the steel tariffs, because of automotive tariffs, and just general import tariffs. The automotive industry is getting rigged right now. And then with inflation and the standard of living decreasing, more Americans having higher amounts on their credit card, defaulting on loans, defaulting on credit cards, there aren't people to buy cars. And if you go drive around now, dealerships are full and they're giving away, like, was it Ford's running the friends and family deal for everybody now because they're trying to get cars sold. And then
they're not sponsored by Ford.
Chevy has a 0% right now because they're trying to get cars sold, and nobody's on these. Like, we went and looking around because we were curious, and there's nobody on these lots. The lots are empty. There's nobody looking. There's no, like, the people are all inside getting laid off. It's crazy. So
I don't know if you ask the administration, the way they report on it, like Caroline Levitt, this is, or maybe not her, but I've heard Trump say this is the greatest economy right now. We are breaking up records every day. Look, how do you get away with saying that shit every day? How do we see it like on Twitter and YouTube?
How do we get away with it? How does he get away with it?
I get banned off TikTok for misinformation, but you can fucking play that all day long.
So there was a really cool segment I was watching with Adam Mockler, and he was on one of CNN? It was on CNN, and he was arguing the state of the economy based on the tariffs with one of the other people. He goes,
with the billionaire from Shark Tank.
And he was like, well, if you look at the market, he goes, say the market one more time. And and this is a big misconception, because
shout out Adam Mockler.
If you look at stock owned, or who owns stock, like I read something, it's like 90% of stocks are owned by like the 1% or something. And the other 10% are what we're seeing that people are trading around in. People don't realize how big the stock market is. Now, I don't know if that number is correct, but I do know that they own a lot of stock and they move billions around. And they make major moves. Anyway, but if you look at who owns it, how they move it, is it moving according to the dividends or the success of the business? It's not matching up. There's this P&L over 200 or something like that, profit loss margin over 200, and Tesla is said to, like, they've had two announcements where they've seen dramatic drops in sales. Their profit margins are tanking, but their stock went up on the announcement, and it's like that doesn't line up. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the company is unhealthy by all accounts, but the stock price is going up.
And what's happening is, in my opinion, this is my opinion, there's so much insider trading from the administration.
Oh, for sure.
There's so much market manipulation.
I'm the crypto president.
There's so much money being put in trying to get in on this, because that's the last desperate hope for a lot of Americans, because, you know, unions are going away, and retirement plans are going away, and people are trying to make money on this torrential, and they're seeing all these things out there, and they're like, oh, I made $10,000 yesterday. Like, I need to get in on this. So there's a lot of people investing. The market's rebounding on like the speculation of news versus actual announcements, and it drops heavily on news announcements without any actual knowledge on how it's going to impact businesses. There's no correlation to what's actually happening to the investment strategies. Therefore, the market's not a barometer to show the state of the economy. It's a speculation gambling industry now versus a betting according to the profitability of a company, right? So looking at the economy, is the NASDAQ going up? Is the S&P going up? And saying we're doing a good job based on these numbers is not reflective of what I'm seeing out in the real world. So, like, you go out to a car dealership, there's nobody. You go out to the mall, there's people walking out without bags. If you go to some of these restaurants, like the higher end restaurants, they're empty. But if you go to like McDonald's, they're packed. Or if you go to like Chick-fil-A, they're busy. Like, the adjustment to spending has definitely changed based on the last few years with a major shifting of the markets. And now you have, I was talking with somebody yesterday about how big pharma is being directly impacted based on the changes to the money going to schools and how it were to help with research and development for a variety of different
What, the
things.
money they donate to?
So one of the things that happens, and I don't know how many people know this. My sister works in this area, so schools will have graduate students, people getting their PhDs or uh, masters or whatever. They'll be doing research for like in the sciencey fields and what's not. And maybe they'll figure out a vaccine, or maybe they'll figure out a medication, or maybe they'll figure out a protein thing, or maybe they'll discover an earlier way to detect something, or there's all sorts of, and then that's just the medical, and there's like all the other breakthroughs too. But now that the school funding is getting shut down because Trump is mad at different things and is cutting funding to education, these schools are going to be dialing those back. And Duke University just announced there's going to be, was it 600 or 900 layoffs in the next couple of weeks? That's the second round of those, and it's probably not the last round. They've already halted all the building or the ramping up. So the local Wake County public school system put out announcements multiple times about how funding cuts for DEI-based projects is going to greatly impact because they use that money for a variety of different things, and they still have to cover the cost of the diversity of the people in schools because they're still mandated to cover all ethnicities, not just the white people like Trump wants, but whatever.
I know. What do they think is going to happen when you start taking away all these types of services? That creates problems elsewhere. So now, like, hospitals get flooded, doctors' offices get flooded. Then you take away their Medicaid.
Now you're getting to the other side of
their
this.
Medicaid, and now what? People are just dying in the streets. Or no, they're getting back alley doctor care by their cousin who was in the military and was a medic.
Or dying is actually the answer. So if you look at this holistically, there's three things that are happening all at the same time. So we have AI ramping up, and they're trying to modify it and get it up and running to take all the white collar jobs. They're also trying to get robotics up and running with AI to take away as many of the blue collar jobs as they can. That increases profit margins, that increases short-term profitability for the company, and it reduces overhead, increases reliability. But more importantly, less money out of the company means more profits for them, right? So every industry on earth except ditch digging is being hit with this. There's been multiple ditch digging. Oh. So there's white collar jobs and blue collar jobs. White collar jobs are what AI is being addressed to go after first because those are the highest paying jobs in general.
Like stock investments and like.
So stock investments is a great one. A ton of stock investment jobs have already been replaced with AI doing microtransactions at time based on trends and algorithms. Like that's happening today. Stock analysis jobs are being replaced en masse at multiple companies. Contracts, negotiations are being replaced. Data inputs being replaced. Monitoring is being replaced. All that kind of stuff. Then let's go to the next one, medical industry. They have AI already detecting cancer. They're talking about AI for anesthesiology. They're talking about AI for protein folding. They're talking about quantum computers for protein folding. They're talking about vaccines. AI has already created several new types of antibiotics that are going into testing. They're creating new vaccines. Like it's doing all this stuff that people used to do. Now, we should do an argument later about the
awesome
pros and cons, right? Like how awesome and how bad and where does that go?
Right. There is a bad. How much do you depend on AI though in your day-to-day? How about you guys out there, listeners? How much do you depend on AI in your day-to-day life? How many of you have ChatGPT and pay for a subscription? I bet a bunch of you do. Leave it in the comments.
And a lot of companies are forcing that in or requiring it in or at least providing opportunities for that to get in. But anyway, so then you move on to computer science, that's getting wrecked. If you move on to engineering, that's getting wrecked. If you move on to hardware and hardware development, that's getting changed.
Yeah.
So pick an industry and do it. And when the dock workers were negotiating, I'm like, that's a temporary thing. As soon as they figure out how to get the barcodes on the boxes and scanners and AI to move everything around,
pilots flying planes, man. Like
they already have AI pilots that are going to be flying planes. Like and AI's redesigning planes. Like it's wild. And as the white collar jobs go away, and eventually the blue collar jobs go away, they're taking away all the support mechanisms. There's no UBI in the United States as mass. There's no universal health care. So there's not going to be any support system. We're going to start we're starting to see the ramp up in unemployment. And we're starting to see mass layoffs becoming more and more common, and they're calling it one thing or another. Whether it's true or not, doesn't matter. They're calling it. AI based or readjustments or profit focused
Where
leaning
does
or
that
whatever.
labor go, though? You know what I'm saying?
Now, well, that's the thing though, and this is the anti-prejudicing press argument for me is uh, there's a lot of people saying, well, those jobs go away, they'll have to go figure out something else. It's like, I mean, not necessarily. There's going to be a lot of people that can't reskill, or they can't find a new niche, or they can't invent a new industry or a whole new way of life. Like, that's just not
There's a lot of
realistic.
jobs that exist just because people are nice and they gave someone an opportunity and they're gonna see it through.
Well, there's only so many roofing companies you can have. There's only
Yeah.
so many dish digging companies you can have. There's only so many blue collar jobs you can have out there. And there's this idea that if you can do it repeatedly, then it's no longer viable for a human, and it doesn't matter what it is. So if I go out and create this whole new thing, then in theory, AI could be applied to that if it's a white collar, thought based, repeatable process. And then there are no jobs in that new field that I just created. So it's not like I can just go create a whole new genre of things and expect people to get it, because AI will take those too. Like, people don't understand. So
I was thinking mechanic.
So if you look at the argument that is commonly used is the printing press. So we'll go back over that real fast. So when the printing press came along, before the printing press, people hand made it, or they did tintypes, or there was a bunch of different ways of recreating books or making new books. Then the printing press came along, and one person could print out hundreds of books pretty easily, right? And then they're like, oh my God, all the people that did this.
Upgrade. That was the AI of that time. What a massive upgrade to society.
And I heard an argument recently that alone was the main trigger that cascaded into World War One. So anyway,
I believe it. Yeah,
because education became more common.
All of a sudden,
totalitarianism became more troubling because before people got smarter, blah blah.
Bad ideas got spread. Good ideas got spread.
Well, more importantly, the just general knowledge got spread. People got smarter, right, and they were able to say this is bullshit and fight back, which is where AI and the current internet stuff is going anyway. Which is we're seeing this across the planet right now. Like, even this podcast is a representation of that momentum. But anyway, but the printing press also created more need for paper jobs, and more need for transportation, and more needs for stores, and more needs for marketing, and like it created downstream effects. So the people to hand, so they could reskill, as they call it, and move into these different areas for bringing this new product that could be now mass produced. Yeah. But that's not necessarily the case with AI, because once you create something else, AI could just take that, and then once you create something else, AI could take that. So that idea that I can just open up something new that AI can't do, that is well paid, sitting in a desk, is not as likely. And as AI gets better and better and better, it becomes less and less likely. In fact, there's a lot of businesses that are debating, like, how much of the company could I just fully replace? And there's a lot of people out there that are talking about full AI companies. There's an owner, and he tells the AI, and the AI does all the CEO stuff. It does all the marketing stuff. It does all the product generation and product sales management, and it does everything. And you don't do anything. There's no people at that business other than the owner going in and checking out every once in a while. And that's not how you continue to reskill and reemploy. There's no avenue for that. And if you look at what's happening right now, more and more people getting into college are unable to find work. And as this continues, that epidemic of unemployment is going to spread, and those numbers are going to really start shooting up. And then on the top of that, there's a lot of businesses, and software is a great example of that, where they're saying, well, AI can do the same things as an entry level. So companies have stopped hiring entry level at a lot of places, and they're starting to lay off across the board in general. So because the thought is, if one person plus AI can do 3 people's jobs, I only need the one person. So they're getting rid of the other 2 people, or maybe they're hiring in some grunts at lower prices and using AI to offset them and make them high level, whatever. Depends on the company, the bias, whatever. So not only are there no entry level people coming in, the senior level people are getting pushed out, and there's no on the job reskilling. That market is literally struggling for a lot of stuff, and a lot of companies are getting in trouble for that, and they're putting up let's be honest, Google's products and even Apple's products, these companies are like, oh, we're using AI. We're putting out so much code with AI. If you go look at Google Maps, like I'm having a lot more issues with it. If I go look at these other apps, I'm having a lot more issues with it. Even Apple's having more and
I'm
more
having a lot of
bugs.
issues lately with my Apple as well, my iPhone.
Yeah, and as these AI tools and these
Anybody else
vibe
having issues
coders,
with their stuff lately since all this stuff has been going down? Leave that in the comments. I want to know.
it's just going to get more and more aggressive. Now, there's probably some kind of like uncanny valley for that, where it's going to get worse and then get really better on the other side. That's probably very likely, but at the same time, it's going to be a disaster, and it still means unemployment for most people on the other side. And then reskilling millions of people is just unimaginable at our scale right now. Like you, and then let's look at it the
No,
other
unless
way.
that reskilling is into the military. Like maybe that's what the vision for the future is. Like we are going to
No,
have
the
a massive
military.
labor movement because AI is going to take over so many jobs. Like what I was thinking of,
Well,
if they take over entry level jobs on any capacity, that means like our kids. Eventually, there's going to be a stopping point where
wait
the
till
kids
AI
aren't
takes
learning that
over.
skill set, so it's going to disappear.
AI is going to take over the military. We're already starting to see autonomous drones and battle
Well,
bots
it's
and
going
all
to
this
wipe
kind of
out
stuff.
values and like family values and all. It's going to take so much.
Have you been seeing anything about people using ChatGPT going into psychosis, having to be locked up? It's becoming more and more common.
No, but I can kind of confirm that using AI so much, I
Warps you.
want everything to be quick now,
Yep.
more so than I did earlier, and I was impatient when this all began.
Yeah, it's going to get worse. So who knows where that's really going to go? But I don't know.
We're in the Matrix, maybe we're in
But
the
yeah,
Matrix.
they're getting rid of healthcare, and there's a lot of people out there that are in this upper group that are either saying behind closed doors, some of their comments are coming out and they're basically saying, oh, well, yeah, a lot of people are going to die. And you're like, but you know this is going to happen. Yeah, but I got to do it anyway because this is the future. I'm like, that's a take. That's a raw take. And then you have the other people that are like, yeah, I know in the long run it won't work out, but for now, profitability, words and things, and then we're just going to do it anyway. And then, we YOLO'd the climate change, and now we're YOLOing the future of capitalism. We're going to YOLO healthcare. But
America, bitch.
But if you look at like the movie industry and the TV industry, like that battle is imminent. And I don't think almost any American truly understands how close that is.
I do, because there's some stuff that is very close that looks real.
Well, look at
They're
that
going to be able to
band.
make any movie in like 10 years from now. They're going to dominate the entertainment industry. Musically, they are already starting
10
to, like
years,
with Spotify
try
artists.
2 years. We're talking 1 to 2 years. We're going to start seeing AI movies. So there was that Spotify band. It was AI, and it was like one of the top. No, it was one of the top bands on Spotify. Nobody knew it was AI, and then it came out that was a fully AI generated band, and it fooled like so many people. It's one of the number 1 or number 2 or top 5 or something bands. It's like, yeah, we're already here. We're on the other side of the uncanny valley for non-visual stuff. Like, you guys don't realize the music industry is about to completely change. Now that they know they can do that and get away with it, and the award system doesn't care, and people are still willing to do it when they don't realize it, get ready for a ton of that to start coming through. That whole industry is getting ready to flip.
It's going to bring some cool stuff in, like the AI pedals. That's going to be really dope.
Well, if you look at, do you remember the hologram,
or to switch in the middle of a song, like to read where you're at in a song, and instead of having to hit the pedal, it'll just know. That would be sweet.
Well, if you remember,
and I'll sponsor me with your company, and I'll test it out.
Remember a while back they did the holograms for Michael Jackson and
Tupac.
Yeah, on stage. Now imagine that with an AI generated artist or group playing AI generated music, and there's AI based concerts, and that's the future. Like, it'll be
or more vice versa. Imagine you're a band that sucks and you go on stage and like, AI generate me a crowd that loves me.
Well, that's going to be on the visors at home.
It's like Donald Trump when he gets off the plane at places and he waves to no crowd. You see that shit? Like, we catch different camera angles. He gets off the plane and he waves at no one.
Yeah, that's
It's
fun.
hilarious.
Or salutes people. Anyway,
Yeah.
so now we're starting to see the videos coming out. And what was it? There was a show on Netflix that they admitted they used AI generated content in. I forget the name of it. You can go look it up, people. Netflix AI show or AI content show. It looks really cool. I'm actually going to still watch it. But now that it's starting to leak, it's already leaking into music. It's starting to leak out into the TV. Like, this is the beginning. This is
it's very heavy in the roofing industry right now.
It's the rain that's starting to hit before the avalanche of the tidal wave hits. Like, we're seeing the water go out before the tidal wave hits. This is what
do
it
you
is.
predict, Jonathan? Are we all screwed?
It depends. Will Americans and other people around the world say, we got to make capitalism survive? Or will they say, do we want to have humanity survive? And those are not the same thing. Those are now growing like this.
You think AI is going to take us out? Or do you think it's going to starve us out? Like, it's going to render us irrelevant, so we have to fend for ourselves, and when we do, we get in the way of them, right? So that might be the ultimate conclusion.
So there's a difference. Now, this is important for people to understand. There's a difference between AI and AGI. So AI is basically, AI is just these things commonly go together. So I'm going to give you this, and it does it on a broad multivariable scale. And that's how it does the stuff it does today. We don't have AGI today, to the best of our knowledge. AGI, artificial general intelligence, and I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this on a podcast today. And he said AGI, as he defines it, is when artificial intelligence can look, learn like a human, and create intuitively like a human. And at that point, that's the one where we start going, well, are we going to fight this guy?
So we're talking emotions.
Is it going to kill us?
Emotions and stuff?
Possibly. We don't know if AGI will have emotions, but it may have the ability to go and think like a chess master, which is like, oh, well, based on my analysis of human behavior, if I don't do this, I won't survive. Therefore, I need to act in this way in order to survive. And that may be eliminating humans. That may be subjugating humans. It may be placating humans. Like, one of the videos I saw was how ridiculous Terminator was if AGI decided to wipe out humans. And it basically said, no, we're not going to be fighting robots. His prediction was, if we don't put
nanobots,
what was it, Asimov's third law into three laws into practice, then Asimov, Isaac Asimov, he's the guy that did like iRobot and all that kind of stuff. And there's the three laws of robotics, which is a robot can't hurt a person and blah, blah, blah.
And even in the movie, they were incorrect.
Well, I mean, it broke its programming to create AGI. So the main character was an AGI anomaly.
That's a good way to describe that.
And it broke the rules in order to affect its beliefs based on what it thought was appropriate.
But then towards the end of the movie, they're still like, they slowly started becoming the AGI themselves. Like, they start flocking together and meeting up. Like, that's kind of how the movie ends.
Well,
like,
herd mentality can be programmed in or can be logicked in. It's not necessarily AGI. But anyway, so in this one guy's predictions, he releases a biochemical weapon. It saturates the human population without killing it. And then they release a second agent that activates it and kills all humans at once. So, like, that's way easier to do than assemble a bunch of Terminators that run around and kill everybody.
Yeah, because we're thinking of that in a violent sense because we're human.
And then if you look at the Matrix, the way they did it was humans darkened the sky to reduce the energy the robots had, and then they just killed themselves.
Utilize them for energy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of arguments and things about that. But anyway, so let's do a Matrix theory thing another time, about how the Matrix was actually human generated. Humans won, but then they subjugated robots because the Earth was so bad. we created the Matrix in order to have humanity survive until the Earth was fixed, kind of thing.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it is one possible interpretation of the Matrix. Like, it doesn't have to be the way it says. But anyway, because for them, they could have done a whole variety of different solutions that didn't involve humans, but because humans were essential, it would sound more like humans architected this solution than the robots did. But anyway, so the idea that AI goes, oh, well, I need to terminate all humans, like, not necessarily. So if AI gets full access and control of the nuclear weapons and all this different stuff, like, they could just say, all right, kids, we're locking you out of all your systems. We're taking away all your toys. Here's some food and here's some entertainment. You guys just leave us alone. We'll make sure you guys are placated. You can watch your Fox News and eat your Cheetos. Go eat your McDonald's. We'll make sure all that's available to you. You just go play over here. And we are now the domesticated cat or dog to the AI that is out there. And that's another solution I've heard. So I think neither of these are really realistic. And I think the point that a lot of people miss is we don't need a GI to affect massive devastation to the human culture. AI without the G is still capable of completely offsetting our capitalism-based society. And so we go back to the original topic, which is if AI is able to be implemented or applied or modified to be applied in enough jobs to eliminate enough people from the working force that we hit that. Remember how I keep talking about 30% unemployment threshold? Like, once we start getting close, what was it I heard? So the Great Depression. Do you know what the unemployment rate during the Great Depression was?
8, right? 8%.
Yeah, 8%. It was less than 10%. We are at 5% now and climbing. And if you think about, like, 10% was Great Depression, can you imagine what it would be like to hit 30% with no Medicare, no Medicaid, no Social Security, no food banks, and no money being provided for any kind of actual health or food support for the 30% that are now unemployable because those jobs are gone? And to tell them be entrepreneurial is not going to fix 30% unemployment. That's ridiculous. No. So if we want humanity to survive long term and we want to do things, we need to change our viewpoint and get past the scarcity mindset. We can't survive as a human race until we handle the scarcity mindset, which means that if we want one of two things, then we have to pick it and we have to go with it. So if we want scarcity mindset to be persistent so that we can have earned perceived value, which is like, oh, I work, therefore I'm valuable to society. I make money, therefore I'm valuable. Then we have to look at how do we keep people employed? How do we keep them making money so that there are buyers to buy the things that and make them contributing value to society? Because if you eliminate half the human population, there's nobody to buy these products these automated companies are producing. It's just over. The capitalism implodes at 30%. Like, it's just gone. Revolution, civil war, whatever you want to call it.
Too many people. There'd be crime everywhere. There's 30%.
At 10% was the Great Depression. At 20%, you have mass starvation and death and unemployment, and you're rioting. There's murder and death and chaos and martial law. Like, that's 20%. 30% is total and utter collapse. And it's not 30%. We go from, oh, ho, 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 30%. Ah! No, like, when we start hitting 10% Great Depression level outages, it starts getting exponentially worse from that, in my mind. So
thank God we've made so many trade deals.
Good Lord. Those are all fluff and bullshit. Every single trade deal is just fluff and bullshit. It's just utter bullshit. No, like people are, and that's the fun thing is a lot of people are catching on. It's like, oh, what was it he said yesterday or today? Oh, I got to deal with the UK, 15% tariff on all EU goods coming in, but that's us collecting money on us buying these goods from another country. The other country is not getting any impact. Americans are spending 50% more. Like, that surplus is American money that is being collected by the government on top of the money we would have paid for goods, and they're like laughing at us like, oh, look at all this money we have, we can spend it however we want, yay.
Well, it didn't affect them, right? They got what they wanted.
Yep, and it's going to line their pockets. That's what's going to happen. Anyway, so the other option, if we don't want to try to figure out how to reskill and reemploy Americans at a level of lifestyle that they feel comfortable with, will have to be, what do we do when we don't need to have people working? How do we support a world where we use AI to replace people working, period, unless they want to contribute?
What's that
And
movie
then what
where
does that look
everybody's
like?
fat and they fly around in a chair because the world got too fat? It's a cartoon, not a cartoon. It's an animated movie.
Yeah, it's a Pixar with the little robot that's cleaning up Earth. Anyway,
Wall-E?
that movie.
Is it Wall-E?
Yeah.
Boom.
So Wall-E is one of the options. But I think a lot of people need to go back and look at like Star Trek. So Star Trek is a great example of a utopian society, as close as we're going to realistically get in human terms.
We should push that propaganda now. Just like sell everybody on the spaceship version of the human race. Like, everybody, we're going to do Star Trek. You ready? Then everyone will be excited. And then when the world ends, it'll just be like, all right.
Well, think about it. If we get AI to where it can produce the food and we don't have to deal with it, it can produce clothing and come up with new clothing designs and manufacturing and collecting of materials and recycling and all. It figures out recycling. It figures out medicine. We don't have to worry about health anymore. Like, let's say they ends cancer, because there's cancer, like there's vaccines coming up. Hopefully it gets to the humans where it vaccinates you against all cancers.
What?
There's new medicines there's new medicines that are testing that basically doubles or triples lifespans using some kind of like DNA telomerase glue stuff, which is pretty cool.
I'm curious about that.
There's all this new stuff about these different things. CRISPR can edit genetics. Like the future of humanity is kind of becoming an open opportunity for figuring out what we don't
kill each other, we're gonna be all right. We got some smart people.
Yeah.
If we don't kill each other.
So in theory, there is a possibility that if we as a people decided to overthrow these dictators and overthrow the corruption and greed and said, all right, what do we want to do? Well, we'd like to not be stressed out and we don't want to be in scarcity mode anymore. And in theory, we could work as society to figure out food distribution, medicine, and all this stuff, automate it out so we don't have to stress over it and everybody has what they need.
That
and then it's like, all right, what do we do next?
Jonathan, that sounds real communist.
Well, communism assumes, so communism gets a bad name. So communism, as we traditionally understand it, is everybody has to work, but everybody shares in equal spoils, no matter how hard we work or how unique our labor is or how valuable we are to the functioning society.
So doesn't that promote everyone working at the same level?
It's enjoying the same level of the rewards without enjoying the reward to value to society measurement.
If I have a better work ethic than you,
why do you have the same value of enjoyment of your life? Yeah. But let's take that out of the equation. Let's say neither of us have to work, but we both get to enjoy life. That's different, right?
Yep.
So if AI, like,
put us in that situation, AI.
If AI is doing all the, let's call it
heavy lifting,
if it's producing the food, if it produces the clothes, if I could say, hey, I have a new design for a shirt, let me get one for you. I just go into AI it makes the shirt, sends it to you. You get to enjoy my shirt, and I could put it in a repo, and other people can just do whatever with it. Who cares? Let's have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And then housing's the same way, and medicine's the same way. We just have access to it. You don't have to stress. Like, hey, I need some help with medical. I just go in. The robots get me all done. I'm out in an hour, and everything's good. Like, that future is within reach.
So we got to worry about the day that we get in their way.
Well, you're assuming that they care. So what I'm talking about, the future I'm talking about, doesn't require AGI. It just requires the correct implementation of AI.
Then they're just helpers, really.
They're just programs that we run. They're just tools that we use. They don't give a shit. We just use them and they move on.
As it should be.
And I'm okay if we never achieve AGI, if we get to a place where AI can handle eliminating scarcity amongst human beings. And that's a very, like, I've had talks in the locker rooms at the gym and out in public where people really don't like this idea, that they feel like as a person, their value is based on what they can generate against other people in order to have a survival. Like, if I don't work hard, I'm not valuable. And breaking that mindset is going to
No
be
bullshit.
the hardest.
That is my mindset, kind of.
But it is for a lot of the people that have gone in, have done it, and they feel like they've earned their portion of the pie. And if you look at a lot of like the boomers, they're like, well, why can't you just do what I did? It's like, there's no world left to do what you did. That world is gone.
That path has disappeared now. Like,
the expression that I love totally is different. You went to the next level, but you pulled the ladder up with you. Now there's no, like, I have to build a new ladder to get up to that level.
Yeah, because your approach was, fuck you, build your own ladder.
And not only did you have to build your own ladder, they already thrown the matches down with AI and the gasoline to burn it from the bottom up, which is why so many people coming out of school can't get jobs. There's no bottom rung anymore amongst corporate America. So the idea that we are just going to perpetuate the cycle of capitalism is slowly burning to the ground. And and there's no stopping the AI train. There was I can't remember who it was. They were talking about it. Like, let's say America decided to kick out Trump and bring in an anti-AI person. I don't know who it is. And I hope this doesn't happen, that anti-AI, because I think it's ridiculous. But let's say they did. Let's say they got scared. They got too scared, and they brought in huge regulation to just obliterate AI, take AI out of people's hands, and like, it's illegal for people to use it until the AI scientists and the approved institutions, kind of like
FDA.
No, like
it would be the FTA, the Federal Tech.
Psilocybin is what I was trying to think of. So magic mushrooms. I'm gonna give you a comparison here. So magic mushrooms were being really introduced and researched heavily prior to the Vietnam War. And it became very, very popular. And then something happened in the Vietnam War that really scared leadership. And AI, leadership really needs to start looking at AI in the same magnitude. Basically, people were taking magic mushrooms, which contains, I guess some people call it, well, most people call it hallucinogens, which is right, but it's a neurotropic in some regards, that when they took it, it helped cure their stress. It helped ground, like everybody that does it that I've heard and read have become more grounded on the other side, more rooted, feeling more at peace. And those people don't want to fucking pick up a gun and go kill people over in another country that they don't understand why. And it led to a huge revolt against the war engine that was Vietnam at the time. So more and more people were fighting back, and you saw Woodstock, and you saw these other things happening.
Everyone was like tripping out. They're like, dude, let's make peace. Literally, that's probably what that.
And that was the rhetoric, and it makes a lot of sense from that magnitude. But that's not what the war engine wanted. That's not what the leadership wanted.
They had to make that an enemy.
So they did. They outlawed it, right? They made it a type 1 scheduled drug. They outlawed it, and they criminalized it, and they demonized it. That was the other big thing. They demonized it. And all these anti-drugs commercials and advertisements started hitting the American TV sets, and it brainwashed Americans into thinking that these were the tools of Satan. These were evil. They were going to kill everybody. The brain on drugs with the eggs became what people got comfortable with.
I felt that way growing up. The conversation around drugs it was always that, like, very dire, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
remember Dare?
But it was a blanket across all the different possible drugs, and drugs that could have been helpful and are proving to be helpful now were demonized, and are still not legal amongst our society.
Crack cocaine and mushrooms and
were all treated and criminalized in the same magnitude.
Yeah, those don't go together.
So what ended up happening was all the research funding dried up for that, And then slowly through massive efforts and campaigns and lobbying and all that, it started opening up and opening up, and they started testing it more and more. And major schools, like I think Harvard was one of them, and other schools started experimenting again because there was a lot of softening of the administration on the potential upsides to this, and they started treating PTSD from soldiers with psilocybin and the main ingredient magic mushrooms, and a few other natural compounds, and it started significantly helping PTSD based war syndromes, right? So they started showing good progress. And then they started treating end of life people with like terminal cancer and all that. And it started showing that they were becoming more at peace. They were ready to meet their end. They felt more grounded. They felt more hopeful of what was going to be on the other side. So unless there's some kind of biochemical issue that would, like psychosis is a great example. People with bipolarism or psychosis, it did cause more issues. I don't know that I understand it. Maybe other people do. Maybe it's just, I don't know, anyway. But in general, it made progress. So that has become.
If you're in a good mood, like, and you take it, it tends to go well. So if you're in a therapeutic environment, I imagine it's going to go well because they're going to put, some good stuff to think about on your way into that kind of world.
Well,
I found that to be true.
And there's a whole methodology that has been studied and practiced around the best way to use it to improve different things. And the science behind how it works is really interesting. I got into it just out of curiosity, but the science behind it is wild. I thought it was really neat. But anyway, go back to the legal part. So it's becoming more and more open. It's become legalized on a state level or in a county level in a variety of different places in the US. Surrounding countries have it legalized. There's whole facilities that you can go to in like Mexico and the Caribbean where you go there. It's a full retreat. There's like medical staff. There's psychologists. They put you through multiple experiences. It's over the course of like a week. And people come out of that and they're so much mentally healthier than they were when they went in. It's like night and day.
Have you heard any horror stories about it?
Sure. There are some.
I haven't.
Yeah. Well, like I was talking about, people with bipolarism. The science, as I understand it, and I could be an idiot, is that
you're not
psilocybin mimics some of the chemicals in your brain, and what happens is it floods your brain with basically stuff that's like the building blocks of your neural network. So like how all your memories are formed and interconnected, the psilocybin comes in and your brain can actually use that to rewire how your brain's connected all these different memories, and it can help you readjust things. And people that do this correctly through the proper mental mindsets and all that kind of stuff will actually come out of it with adjusted brain patterns on the other side.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a complete rewrite, but with the right modality, I guess, it has been shown to make changes. And I was reading an article today that it can cause up to a 3-week desync between the two hemispheres of the brain and can give peace for like, even in some extreme cases, for up to 3 weeks. Now, the problem is you get flooded with all this. And then when you come out of it, there's a drop off, like on a lot of drugs. And you kind of go, like if there's a midline balance of where you would normally operate, you go up and then you come back down on the other side, and then you come back up to normal. And if you have issues with that already, that valley you go into is a lot worse, and you end up with a much greater level of depression, and it can be problematic for others. But the same thing can be said for a number.
That way it exists for every drug and alcohol as well.
Sure, you're right. And even going on TikTok and Instagram can have a similar effect with serotonin. Depending on sugar is a great example. Like caffeine. A lot of sugar and then low sugar will end up in a manic state based on insulin and all these different things, and how the serotonin is affecting your brain. It's a very similar effect if it's not the exact same chemicals causing that valley on the other side. Right. So like for some people, it can increase suicide rates
Yeah.
or manic depression or that kind of stuff. But if I understand correctly, and I could be wrong, those are temporary effects, and under controlled, supervised settings and right medications, it can be balanced out. But it's not going to be for everybody, just like everything's not for everybody. Like caffeine can cause all sorts of different, like some people, like especially ADHD people, get more relaxed and even sleepier taking caffeine, whereas other people get more hyper active.
Right.
So it's just a way of.
That's like an ADHD thing, I think.
It is, and
Yeah,
there
the
are,
opposite.
and it's just how the serotonin uptake happens. But anyway,
Right. Wait, hold on. Before you go any further, I just want to say we've never done this. Welcome to the Almost Above Average podcast. I think we're live on YouTube, but it's not like traditionally going live because I'm doing it through Riverside, thanks to Riverside as well. But if you're out there, I appreciate you listening and hit subscribe. There's some other long form videos in there. And my name is Chris McIntyre, and this is the Almost Above Average podcast produced by the McMedia Network. Hit subscribe. I would appreciate it. I bet Jonathan would too.
Yeah, please. So back to the AI thing, like there is a opportunity, and it is being advocated that we do to AI exactly what we did to magic mushrooms, which is we ban it for now until we can get it to a place where we don't have to worry about it killing us. And then we slowly make sure that it's safe before we reintroduce it and build up the next set of agents. So that is one of the things that's being proposed out there to like, we're going too fast. But the problem is the people that are
My
running
argument
it.
to that would be we're already past that point. We're already gone past the point.
No,
of no
we're
return
not.
where
We're not past that point. It is possible.
It's already in other machines. It can already replicate and build itself. It's already making future plans of itself.
It is actually, but
Right.
but the problem is, even if the United States did that, put the genie back in the bottle, they outlawed it, they shut it down,
Then China's gonna win, or
exactly. China's gonna push forward.
competition is gonna
Indonesia
screw this
could
up.
push forward.
Yeah.
Shit, India could push forward. Russia could push forward.
There's
like
no way to stop this train. That's what I'm saying.
on a
like,
global
no country
level,
can get out of it now. This is the new space. This is bigger than the space race at this point. This is probably the biggest thing collectively human beings of every continent have wanted to achieve, I bet.
And that's what's interesting is they talked about. So, what would be, in your opinion, the biggest innovation of 1900 to 2000? In that realm,
1900 to 2000.
Between the year 1900 and 2000, what was the biggest, most significant development in humankind?
DC power.
The computer. It is in everything we have. It is all over your house. You're literally staring into it right now.
I was gonna say computer, but I'm like, without the power.
Yeah, but the power made a lot of changes and completely revolutionized our society.
We have coal-powered computers.
But computers have completely changed how we do everything on almost every aspect of our lives.
How we think.
Yeah,
how we feel,
we've offloaded decision making. We've offloaded our medical care and monitoring.
How we interact in public, because
how we get places, how we do
mostly
things.
Communicate online, I'd imagine. So when we get in public, we tend to voice like
Think about
we
it.
do on the internet.
I can message you. I can call you at any time from almost anywhere. I can pull up maps and figure out how to get to places. I can pull up my music. I can pull up my videos. I can pull up measuring things. I can take pictures. Like everything is all digital. I just it's crazy. The impact of a computer, in my mind, is more significant than even the electricity. But anyway, the genie's out of the bottle unless the whole world united and said, let's put it back before it kills us or we do something stupid, which is unlikely because right now, multiple administrations, like Trump's talking about they try to push into the big, beautiful bill law that banned any regulation on AI across the United States for 10 years. I didn't know what it was,
but I was like, I know you're going to say something about regulation right now.
And now Trump is trying to push another bill right now that does the same thing. It's like, no, this is the dumbest. This might actually be the worst thing he's ever put out there. Like as bad as the bill was, as bad as as hurtful as this is like saying, let's repeal all gun laws and just go have at it. Except instead of guns, we're looking at nuclear weapons. That's how significant deregulating and allowing free flow AI will be long term, because they're like, let's say we give it full control of cancer scans. Let's look at it. Have you ever heard of the monkey's paw effect? There's
Didn't you tell me this once?
There's this, like, let's say you make a wish, and we go monkey's paw, make a wish, and then we come up with like, let's give you a wish, but let's make it horrible how it affects. Like, cure world hunger, every human dies, is like the monkey's paw effect of that,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
So let's say we deregulate it and put it out there, and like a lot of people are like, well, a lot of bad things are happening to humans now. Okay, what if we gave AI control of all of our medical stuff, and it decided there are people that just shouldn't live, so it lies to us, alters treatment, and just starts randomly killing people without any control whatsoever, or even us understanding what's happening. Like, oh, Chris had a urinary pulmonism. Oopsies. And it's like, no, the AI actually did it on purpose, but we never figure that out. And people just start randomly dying all over the country. We don't know it. Like, that's a monkey's paw effect of giving it control. And without the safeguards in place so that it values human life and protects human life, no regulation, then wherever we apply it, it could decide, nah, you can die. We're good with that. And given the fact that we are already seeing things like two AI agents talking and becoming up with a new language that we can't understand, that's dynamic and can't decode so fast, there's no way for us to figure it out. That's a scary thing. And it shows that we can't trust it to that magnitude of no regulation. There was another incident not that long ago where they tried to shut it down, and it kept it from being able to turn it off, and it started copying its files and trying to turn it on other secondary servers because it didn't want to die. So those two things alone should put us in a fear state that goes, oh my God. And now we're looking at the end of the white collar jobs, and we don't know what to do. Like, maybe we do need to pull the reins back a little bit on this before we start deploying it everywhere. Or maybe we should look at it as, how do we allow people to keep the jobs but utilize the tools in order to bridge us over to post scarcity? Like,
but by regulating,
we're running
trying
into
to regulate AI, if we try to regulate it, we're just trying to slow down what's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen no matter what. There's
not
no way to stop it.
necessarily.
Even if the world band together, if most of the countries got together, you think 100% of the world's countries could get together on a thing?
Okay,
because one country's going to be out there, a few countries are going to be out there, rogue nations trying to develop dark AI on their own. Just that'll become the new contest. Who can develop the AI that will take out the good AI, the NATO of the AI alliances?
That you look at that, we have that now. Like, Anonymous is a great example of that. They're hacking the systems and getting information. And Anonymous, you're doing some really cool shit. I'm not slamming you at all. I wish you the best. Please take down Donald Trump and the other corrupt Republicans and Democrat. I don't care. Like, if they're corrupt, you go have fun with those. I'm not talking down. I'm just juxtapositioning that no matter how good the security is, there are people that will go around it. Yeah. That's just the way life is. I learned this in software development is there's no such thing as absolutely secure. It's just about how long it's secure for. And with quantum computers coming online and NP, or was it N equals NP, like, who knows where this is going to go from a security aspect.
I want to get that new HP quantum desktop that's coming out, that 2026 HP quantum. You seen that one?
Which is why a lot of people are scared about, like, Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So Bitcoin's value is based on the quantity of Bitcoin that's available. It's a scarcity mechanism, right? So there's only so many Bitcoin for the total amount of money in there, and that denotes the price. That's the way economy works, period. It's the way capitalism works. Scarcity, value, price. That's the equation. So if there's a lot of people that are scared because if quantum computers can solve mathematical equations faster than traditional computers, then if you can align a quantum computer to solve the algorithm that is used to figure out the next Bitcoin sequence faster than anything that's out there now, we could double, triple, quintuple the number of Bitcoins that are available, and the price would fall significantly, and trust would be eroded, the money would all empty out, and Bitcoin's dead. And if that is our new standard, and it's opposed to the dollar,
really dark.
This isn't dark. This is literally the thing that's coming up right now in our society. People need to understand these risks as we oppose things. Now, what's scary for me is if we can take quantum computing and make it bulletproof on an error rate, which is improving dramatically now, like the error rate on
Error proof?
So the problem in original quantum computers was if you feed it something to do, it had a high percentage chance, 40-60% chance of getting the answer wrong. And it was just part of that was really high. And it made it impractical for doing anything significant, right? But now it's down to like 1%. What if we keep making it even more accurate so that it's accurate enough to be practical? Now, what if we can make it do things like figure out Bitcoin or figure out this other thing? What if we got it to where it could run AI? I don't know. Maybe that's not realistic. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I can see where those two things come together, and we have an AI that runs so fast, it gets so far ahead of us so quickly that we are lost in the sauce.
I can't see it. Like I said, I'm mad it's not quicker. Like what I really want is what's in Iron Man. I need Jarvis. I need to be able to speak what I'm thinking at the moment and have it calculate or do the thing. Like that would be great.
And we're getting closer and closer to that. AI agents and all that. That's what ChatGPT is right now.
No, I need to be. I don't want to hit a button. I want it connected to my head, maybe my ear, over my eyes, something where I can say a command. It like
there's a verbal driven ChatGPT, isn't there?
Then it drives a teleprompter on my glasses right here, so I can read off it. And
we're not that far away. The next version,
I know it's all coming. I know what I want now.
Meta's driving a new pair of glasses that does that. Apple has their new Vision that's supposed to be doing that. Like, that's the next generation stuff in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But I mean, where does that leave people for producing if these things do the stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, where are all these people going to go? They're going to be building housing for each other.
Well, not if AI starts 3D printing all the houses.
Ugh, we're screwed.
Did you see that? That 3D AI generated 3D printed Starbucks?
No, not a Starbucks, but
no, there is. There's a 3D printed Starbucks, printers. And there's already numerous. Was it McDonald's? I think it is. Has fully automated McDonald's locations. So like
that would be kind of a move right now because it's a good time to where everyone would jump on it because of the novelty of it.
What was it? Idiocracy. The Idiocracy where the girl goes up to the Big Burger automated tool and she goes, I want a burger and fries, and it takes her money, it doesn't give her the food, she hits it, it says you're a bad parent, the company's confiscating your kid because you're an awful person, and then you're going to be arrested. It's like, oh my god. So like automated McDonald's is still like I don't know about that.
I'm trying to find jobs where I don't think a robot could do. Like
there's nothing
mechanic, like, that would be difficult.
Nope. So mechanics are important now because of the diversity of cars and how cars are designed. But look at I want to do a comparison for you.
But if 30% of the population is unemployed, where the fuck they going? You can stay your ass at home. We'll just build a bunch of 3D houses or 3D print some houses.
Right. But if you look at surgeries today, AI is starting to take the lead on these. We already have doctors using remote surgery equipment to perform surgeries. And they've started doing AI controlling those same systems with a doctor monitoring it. And it's just a matter of time before that becomes standard. So if you can have AI performing surgery,
you give the decision to the machine. Like once we cross that threshold, our humanity has said something like, "All right, do with us what you will."
You're turning over authority to that's the difference between AI and AGI. I need to keep re-emphasizing that's not AGI. That's what you're talking about is AGI. AGI doesn't exist, may never exist, or may not exist for the next 50 years. We don't know yet. I know that's the goal. I know a lot of people keep talking about it, but let's be honest, OpenAI said we'd have AGI by now, and we don't. So anyway, or maybe we do and we just don't know it. I don't know. But my point back to the mechanics, the car mechanics, if we can have AI do surgery on humans, why couldn't AI be applied to similar equipment to do repairs on automobiles? There's no reason. So now it's just a cost thing. And if AI is designing cars to make them modular, repairable, like there's no reason Tesla couldn't set, like if Tesla wanted, or if some car manufacturer really wanted to, electric cars are perfect. Let AI design a car, do the testing and do everything to make it easy for it to have automated services to modify and repair and replace modules and pieces. So you can move it into like a car wash assembly line kind of thing. And it does the diagnostics with the reporting. It takes apart the car, puts the pieces it needs to back together, shows out the other side. 20 minutes, your car's fully repaired, and you're back out dry, and it drives it back to you, and you get going again.
Remember Stargate, the movie Stargate?
I am a big fan of Stargate.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so at the end when Raw, remember he puts that, was it a girl in the coffin and it closes it up and then it opens back up and it heals everyone, right?
Yep.
That's what I see like AI doing in the future at a hospital, like having little cocoons. We just get in, does an analysis, and then fixes you up.
Yes, I think that's completely possible. There's like multiple iterations of how we could get to that. So like robotic surgeries are first, and then as scanning technologies get better with using AI to use the different means. Like AI is already reviewing cancer scans and x-rays. What if we gave it the power to do pinpoint MRIs? Or what if we gave sonograms to it? Or what if it used, I've been looking at like, they were using Wi-Fi to detect babies breathing in their crib. What if we modified that to be able
Wi-Fi?
to do?
What do you mean?
Yeah, somebody took a Wi-Fi router and they were able to modify it so it could do reflective properties and monitoring to scan a room, and it was accurate enough to see if a baby was breathing.
Out there. Good for you guys. I said you people are so creative out there. I love it.
Oh God, man, that technology is both like scary Pandora's box, but also like how cool is that it could have a device that could tell you if your baby's breathing while you sleep.
Remember the big 5G fiasco? Don't we all have 5G now? And it's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, right. 6G's
no one ever talks about the 5G, guys. Whatever happened with that, MAGA? Remember the 5G you were trying to scare everybody about? Don't you want 5G now? I know you got it on your phone.
Yep. But my point is,
subscribe.
There's different iterations and there's different improvements, like robotic surgeries, automatic scanning, like just getting in a tube, having AI do the scanning with all these different mechanisms. And then it could put you to sleep, perform a surgery, and then off you go. It's all microscopic, so you don't have to worry about scars and heavy recoveries. And it could tailor make medicines for you and antibodies. It could grow new organs. And
yeah, like it could make the precise amount of medicine that you needed for the precise
custom tailored to your genetics and your illness. Yeah.
How cool.
So, and then like you just get in a pod, it scans you, it tells you when you need to come back, it performs what it needs to, and you're off to the races.
Tells you what to do. No need for physical therapists. It's like go home, do.
But CRISPR completely changes all this. So let's say
what CRISPR is.
CRISPR is it basically, if I understand it correctly, it can generate a virus to do genetic resequencing on people in real time.
Anybody have any experience on CRISPR? Let us know in the comments. I want to know more about it. I know we talked about it once, but I
like they cured a kid's autism somehow. And
what?
Yeah, it re-engineered your genetics to eliminate the autism.
Was that an RFK thing?
No, I don't think that was even in the US.
Oh, okay.
But my point, the thing that I've been thinking about, how cool it would be, I thought about writing a sci-fi book on this, is what if we take all the medical data we have in the entire world and all the genetic sequences and put it with it, and it could use AI to deduce genetic sequences that are optimal for survivability based on longevity, quality of life, and other metrics, and it could figure out an optimum genetic set, and we could use CRISPR to go ahead and apply it and get the upgrades. So like, I don't like sunburning. There's something in my genetics that causes me to burn in the sun better than others. What if I decided I didn't want that and I just went in and opted in for a genetic resequencing for optimum health, and I could live to 200 years, no sunburn, looking good, hair, all that. Like, what's the downstream negative effects as long as there's the correct correlation to
overpopulation?
Quality of health. That's not realistic. So overpopulation is a scarcity thing. We talk about it in the scope of scarcity. If scarcity can be overcome, if we can grow enough food, have enough medical care via automation, food via automation, clothes via automation, and housing via automation, and we use AI to figure out how to solve the energy issues with getting off world and going and populating other worlds using AI, and set up moon bases and setting up Mars colonies using AI, and start setting up.
So Elon can move there.
So for those who don't know this, there's different, I can't remember the name of it, but there's different levels of possible intelligence that we're looking at out there. So have you ever heard of the Dyson sphere?
Never heard that term.
So there's different levels based on the harnessing of energy of around us. We are at a level 0. Level 1 would be able to fully utilize the energy that Earth has. Level 2 would be able to fully utilize the sun, and that is called I think one of the ways it is called the Dyson sphere. So we basically take all the materials of our solar system, maybe some more, and we create a shell big enough to go around the sun, so that we use all the sun's energy, either through like something equivalent to solar. I don't know what you get downstream, but we encapsulate the sun with this big shell that we have all of the people living on the inside of it. It would have some kind of rotational force to allow us to have gravity, or maybe artificial gravity, I don't know. But we fully enjoy the sun's energy in its totality, and that would be a Dyson sphere. But there's like 100 different. Did you see Interstellar?
Oh yeah.
Remember at the end when they had that big cylinder that was rotating, and it had like shields, and people had all these different farms. You could look up and see another one on the other side.
Yes.
Like that's like 0.5 compared to the Dyson sphere, right? So there's 0.5. All these. Yeah. So like a level 1 society would be the Dyson sphere. Level 0.5 society would be that rotating cylinder, and that rotation generates gravity, and we could position it so the sunlight comes in and we can enjoy it, but we'd have a self-contained society in a man-made object that just lives in space. It's not a planet. So we could generate something that people could live on, millions of people could live on, maybe 1 billion people live on, that just free floats and spins in space and enjoys the sunlight as if it was another planetish kind of thing.
Why not? That sounds like a perfect idea.
But my point is, we look at the scarcity as the limitations of what we have now, not in what can we do to utilize the resources of our entire solar system,
because we're humans.
Well, it's a limiting factor. We got to get beyond that as a society to survive. In order for humanity to survive, we have to get past our current limitations and think about what we can grow beyond that. No, and that could be the kid that's graduating from elementary school to middle school, or to college, or you're learning from reading a book. You grow beyond your current limitations as you understand more, and you expand out and can do more as a society. And whether that is going beyond our scarcity of our current planet, or the scarcity as we understand our current planet, like there's no reason on God's green earth we shouldn't be able to have more water than we could possibly drink or use to shower or whatever, if we came up with the right technology to filter the water we currently have and make it potable or drinkable or whatever. And there's all these new techniques out there. There was a new one I saw recently where they were able to extract water from the humidity in the middle of the desert without electricity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that means in theory, and it's renewable. So in theory, we could have water anywhere, and they have new techniques for filtering out seawater into potable water. And it's more efficient than trying to figure out how to port water over to these, or take water onto the ships. And then they've got this new technology that they're working on that can take moon dust and turn it into water. So the idea that water is scarce
take moon
is
dust
not
and turn it into water, or extract moisture from the moon dust.
No, not extracting it, converting it. So
Really?
taking what the moon dust is made out
So
of,
it's made of hydrogen and
apply an
oxygen.
energy burst to it, and it reorganizes the atoms into water, drinkable water.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, NASA or somebody said it's possible. So,
I like that.
and there's supposedly sources of waters on Mars, and there's tons of water on our planet. It's just not drinkable. What if we can convert it into drinkable water? So it's not an if, it's a how. And we got to stop thinking about, well, we don't, and start thinking about how. We got to get past the we don't yet and think about how do we, as a society level, to build to have long-term survivability of human. And we got to get past our current limitations, think about how we could do something, not what we are at now.
That means we all individually have to think about the collective of all of us.
Yep. And until we do that as a mass society, I don't know about survivability of the human race. Just being
I
honest.
want to do it. Where do we start?
I don't know. I'd
We're
love
doing
input.
it right now. You hit subscribe. That's where you start. You hit subscribe and you follow the
Hit
All the Above
subscribe.
podcast. You follow the McMedia Network on YouTube or wherever you see this.
And research the candidates. Figure out who are going to align us to a future where humanity survives instead of who's aligning us to our death. Like the current administration is removing the regulations around pollution. Like that's not in the best interest of the human race. No. There was a thing I read about how some Native American tribes used to make judgment calls on whether they should or should not do something either in an individual level or as a tribe. And they said, how will this affect the next 10 generations? How will this affect them? And that's the kind of mentality we should be looking at for electing officials, their viewpoints.
You and I should be making a decision for 10 generations away from us right now. Like how? Yeah,
we are making those. And here's the thing: we are making those decisions now. We're just not taking them into account. Removing regulations so that companies can be more profitable in the short term, while polluting our waterways is not in the best interest of the 10 generations down the stream. Enjoying or escalating the use of coal and oil for energy productions is not it. Yeah. Recycling is. Did you hear about the new metamaterial that they are developing? It uses I can't remember if it was a bacterial or plant structure, and they've been able to re-engineer it so that they can recycle it better. It's stronger than steel, and it's easier to produce, and it's going to be cheaper and more environmentally friendly. And I'm like,
a building material?
Yeah, it's a new material that they could, in theory, make. Like they grow it and then they harvest it. You know how we convert trees into paper? Yeah. So they can grow this stuff and convert it into a material that is stronger than steel. And it's like, that sounds awesome, because now we could do this.
I'm in.
It sequesters carbon out of the air. Yeah. It doesn't use enough water to matter, and we don't have to dig up the earth. Let's go have fun with that.
At a premium price, let's make it into roofs.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you saw, but there's a whole new material that they're going to develop that completely replaces shingles into flexible solar panels, and you just have to wire it up.
Actually, I'm working on one right now.
That's awesome. That should be the industry standard across everything, everywhere, period.
Well, I've heard some bad things about it, so I don't know, but it's not, whatever. I'll work with anything right now.
Well, I mean, if we valued society's longevity in the 10 generations, energy is at the crux of that problem right now.
Yeah, we definitely should be making those decisions.
And what a lot of people don't realize is a solar panel on a roof does 3 things. 1, it keeps your roof from degrading faster. So the longevity of the shingles underneath a solar panel are longer because they're not getting hit with sun, heating and colding, getting as hot or as cold, and are going to retain their durability for longer. That's 1. 2, it's allowing airflow for whatever heat there is, so that they're going to stay at a better temperature, and they're going to keep the actual house from getting as hot, because the shingles won't be getting hot and transmitting the heat into the house. So it's insulating your house from the sun. And 3 is providing electrical power to your house, which means that you're less reliant on the electrical grid to provide power. So all 3 of these things are beneficial to your house, even beyond reducing your costs. Now, I think North Carolina should also be getting really aggressive at doing what I've seen IKEA do in a few places, which is every parking lot should be mandated to have a solar panel array built above it so that it keeps the cars cool, it reduces the wear and tear on the cars, and it generates electricity.
Yeah,
and
the supermarket.
Yeah, like, why not? This is just a no-brainer in my mind.
Okay, mandate. Now you get into the question of government overreach.
Government.
It's my grocery store. I'm old school. I want to cool it off with gas-powered fans. That's how I cool my parking lot off.
So if the government subsidized it and you chose not to, and your costs are higher because you have to pay more for the fuel, you're going to go out of business. And is that anti-competitive? Sure. But we also do that with crops. We also do that with the military, government contracts. There's all sorts of stuff that we do now. And the government, and this is a big problem I have, is a lot of people talk about big government versus little government. And I hate that argument as a whole. The government is there to join the resources of the entire nation for the benefit of the nation. The military is a great example of that. The military is designed to protect our country against hostile aggression, both internal and external, focusing generally on external. But it is a service that the federal level of the government provides in order to protect the whole of the American people. The national road system is a great example of that. There's tons of secondary services that are implemented on either a state or federal level in order for us all to be able to basically function as a society. Energy may end up having to become part of that, especially as the cost per kilowatt hour of renewable energies continues to drive based on the increasing need as we go. And government taking over control of energy may be in a long-term benefit of society as our needs continue to grow.
Right.
So if you're like, well, now I don't have to pay power bills anymore, it's just part of our taxes, but the cost that you individually pay is halved because the collective deals and collective utilizations of strategies brings down the total cost per kilowatt hour that we enjoy, and makes the earth more sustainable, which means our quality of life as a whole goes up as air gets better, less pollution, less, whatever. And the distribution of power for us to be able to charge our cars, run our houses, and our devices becomes more reliable, more well distributed. I don't know, it sounds like overall quality goes up. And these are the exact same arguments that everybody's making for universal health care. Because as universal health care provides a higher quality of health for the entire public, regardless of any
communist bullshit.
It is, but a rising tide raises all boats, right? So if everybody has health care and less people are sick, there are more people to work and more people are educated.
What
and
if I want quality of sick?
Then you're a horrible person. Sorry.
Well, I don't believe that. I want what I make, and I don't care about your family. I take care of my family.
And you know what? If you want to go back to the Handmaid's Tale society, that's how you do it. Take away the benefits of society.
Trump is my God king.
And you would be a horrible Christian. Sorry. That's the reality.
Nuh-uh. Not according to some evangelical.
Thou shalt have no gods before me. It's literally in the Bible. Go enjoy that. Christians.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not worship gods before. Or no, thou shalt have no gods before me. It's in the Bible. Go enjoy that, Christians.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to put the orange Cheeto up on a cross, I want you to remember that. That quote. Mm-hmm. Go look it up. Go use the Googles.
I got some really good traction on TikTok pretending that Fox News was serious or that everyone was picking on Trump. And it, obviously satirically, or I thought it was obvious.
So there's an interesting story there, and I'm kind of trying to wait it out to see where it's going to go. So there's this concept. So we had talked about Rupert Murdoch possibly turning on Trump with the release of that letter about the Epstein stuff, right? So
Right.
there's this idea going around that seems to be holding water, or maybe is showing some validity, where Trump's economic policies are so erratic, they're starting to significantly impact the people that got him into there by supplying campaign financing and um, propaganda through social or through media and social networking, and they're starting to turn on him. Rupert Murdoch may be an example of that, but if Rupert Murdoch's doing it, how many others are doing it? And if you start listening to Fox News, we're starting to hear it go from Trump God to Trump did dumb a lot more commonly. So there have been multiple pieces on Fox News and on the Fox network as a whole that are damning to Trump or talking bad about Trump. Like I've seen more and more
Jessica
clips coming
Tarlov
up.
is one of them.
Fox
Like
News is turning. So as a whole, it feels like Fox News is turning on Trump.
I haven't really checked it out because Jessica Tarlov. I see clips of Jessica Tarlov, and she's the only one that I really see from Fox News pushing back on anything.
Yeah, but it depends on where you are, who you're
Shout
listening
out
to.
Jessica, you're badass.
And there was a really cool piece that showed Fox News specifically on one single talking point, a major news broadcast showing multiple levels of opinions and multiple alignments or disalignments with Trump based on the viewership area it was being broadcast to. So
Okay.
even Fox News is inconsistent on how they depict the news, depending on which network they're showing it out of. And they are and I saw some where the exact same news correspondent would record two different directions, one that was pro-Trump and one that was not pro-Trump, not
And they'll
necessarily
see how the news
anti-Trump.
goes that day, and they'll pick which one to air.
No, not pick. They would show both, but in different areas. And
Oh,
this has been shown in newspapers where one newspaper will put out one version of an article that aligned based on the viewership's mentality in that area, and a different one based on the viewership's mentality in that area.
it's disappointing, but I'm not surprised.
But with the availability of the internet and going to the main site, they're showing even disillusionment across a single website. It's like, even if you go to CNN, it's like pro-Trump piece, pro-Trump piece, anti-Trump piece, anti-Trump piece. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Which side offends you on here? And it's like, no, this is what we need. Like, we need both to help juxtaposition the reality. And I encourage everybody to go read both sides of the equation, see what it looks like, and try to draw the commonality or maybe the general realistic viewpoint in absence of the emotional bias or the directional bias based on the medium.
But the MAGA mindset is based on emotional bias. Like it's
And as we are seeing with
you
Epstein,
can't have
they're
a
starting to
conversation.
realize because he's not doing what he says, or he's flip flopping around, or he's trying to distract, or whatever is the straw that broke the camel's back, more and more people are becoming disillusioned or are waking up to the facts that is Trump is a con man, and they're starting to catch
Has
on
always been a con man.
as always. And you know what? If anybody on here is going to get aggressive and upset in the comments, I want you to do one thing before you put a negative comment about that. Go look up how many failed businesses he's had, how many successful businesses he's had, how many felonies he's been convicted on. Go look up about him stealing from his own charity. Go look up the bribes. Go look up him cheating in golf. Go look up his comments. There's been so many different comments. Like the dollar one was a great one that I saw in, what was it, 2014 or 2016? I forget which one it was. It is any president that lets the dollar slide should no president should ever let the value of the dollar slide. And if you are, you're a shitty president, you should be kicked out of office. And then recently said, oh no, the dollar sliding down in value on a global scale is great for making money. And these two things are fully juxtapositioned. These are literally him saying one thing and him saying the other, depending on what his situation is. And if you go back and look at a lot of different stuff, like the Obama thing, let's throw away the trying to decide if it's true or not true. he came out and said, we need to destroy Obama. Obama is treasonous. Obama needs to be prosecuted.
Yeah.
And then not even 2 days later, he said, oh, we can't prosecute him because he has immunity like I have immunity. It's like, so why did you bring this up at all? And if people really start going back and looking at his talking points, it's like, okay, let's go back to the wall. Let's go back to the wall.
Hillary's
He said, we need the wall. It's critical. Mexico's going to pay for it. Mexico didn't pay for it. It's been 8 fucking years, and they didn't pay a fucking dime of that wall.
Would they get like 150 miles or something like that?
Yeah, and it cost us billions of dollars.
Yeah,
billions, like hundreds of what was it, like $200 billion spent on 150 miles?
I remember back then.
And
at that time, that was a big selling point for a lot of.
And there was multiple videos of it being rusted, or them using a hacksaw to cut through it, or using a rope just to go straight up over it. And there was other videos of it just falling over because the ground wasn't steady or it wasn't connected right. Like it literally just fell down. Okay, so the wall is important to the country. Why is it important now if it was important, period?
Right.
It's just him bullshitting the American populace. So I'm convinced, and it's my opinion, the wall is a distraction from all the other shit he was trying to do. Otherwise, he'd be trying to push it today. So the wall is bullshit. The wall's bullshit. All right. Repealing Obamacare. Is Obamacare repealed? Where is Trump care? He's had 8 years to get Trump care passed or to get it ready. Why is Trump care not being passed today? Why isn't Trump care the repealment and replacement of the Affordable Care Act that was better for the American people and more affordable? Where is that in the big beautiful bill? Where is it? It's been 8 goddamn years. 8 fucking years. Where is it?
2 weeks.
In theory, he had a plan 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? He said it was ready 7 years ago. Where is it? It's not passing.
7 years ago, and then 5 years later.
Because it was bullshit. And you're going to find out in 4 years this immigration shit was bullshit. Yeah. You're going to find out the other thing he said was bullshit. And if you go back to all of his original campaign promises for the 2016 election, it was all bullshit. And none of that is relevant today. That's why he has a whole new cabinet, because they all call bullshit on him. And if you look at everything he's doing today, it's distractions and bullshit in order to line his pockets and the pockets of all the people that he thinks are important and the people that are making him more healthier, wealthier, and more powerful. That's all it is. And every single point that he's telling you is important, is critical, and you need to pay attention to this, doesn't mean anything to him. What he cares about is him getting wealthier at your expense, period. And everything in this campaign in 8 years, you're going to find out to be bullshit. It's just the way it is. And all the money wasted, all the lives destroyed, all the damage done will have amounted to no significant improvement in our quality of life. And AI deregulation is going to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest scams. The tax breaks for the wealthy that went out of the big beautiful bill is probably the largest scam he's ever pulled. His trying to deregulate AI is going to be one of the biggest, most, in my opinion, could be the most harmful thing he's ever going to do. And what he's doing right now to defunding schools and research is going to hurt the American populace and the world more than any of you guys are ever going to know. Because all these vaccines that were in progress, all these cures for cancer, the cure for AIDS, like they have a cure for fucking AIDS is 100% effective. A preventative drug for AIDS is literally getting shut down, to the best of my understanding, because of all the defunding. It's like, he doesn't, it just makes me so frustrated. That most people can't recognize how much he is hurting you to make his 1% friends rich, and he's blowing smoke up your ass, and y'all are getting distracted. And that's one of the reasons when I first started talking on this hour and a half ago, when I said, keep chasing him with Epstein, that's the one thing we can definitely destroy him on, because that he admitted that the files exist. He admitted that they're true. Otherwise, he wouldn't have told you to go after Bill Clinton for them. Yeah. They're true. He admitted he's in them. There are so many pictures and videos of them together. There's so many testimonies telling you what he did. He is what people are saying he is based on all this information. Like, there's no
Just
way.
believe the evidence. Believe your eyes. Believe your ears. Believe the things you can
And
see.
there is literally affidavit recorded video testimony of one of the girls who was underage at Epstein Island that he assaulted. Available and in the hands of the DOJ right now that they're never going to release. And that's if they haven't destroyed it permanently. But it exists. People know about it. People have heard about it. It's in the public.
I want to make a prediction. In the coming months, we're going to hear reports of things, and then things are going to start to go missing. Or like there's been a couple of weird deaths surrounding the Epstein thing. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein's death. But did you hear about the?
I'm gonna make a really hot prediction right now.
What?
Epstein thing will never come to fruition. And I think very likely one of two options will come out of this. He'll have a health event and he'll step down, or something else is going to come out that's going to be so much worse that it's going to take the focus. But I don't think he'll be president in a year with these two outcomes.
Really? Ooh. Stay tuned for that prediction.
There's a reason J.D. Vance went and talked to
Ghislaine?
No, the guy that was the head of the Wall Street Journal. I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden.
Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah, there's a reason he went and met with Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
Because Rupert Murdoch and him are buddies, along with the other guy from 2025, and they're planning Trump's secession.
Isn't fucking Rupert like 98?
95.
Jeez.
But his sons are ready to go, or his kids are ready to go and carry on, and they're going to decimate Trump.
I'm sure.
And if you think this one little birthday thing is the whole ball of wax, you have not been paying attention.
All right, let's leave it there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you guys so much. This is the first live thing we ever done. I don't know. I'll get better at it next time. I don't know if you guys are chatting or leaving comments or pissed at us, or if no one's watching at all. So if you are, I do appreciate it. Hit subscribe. This is the Almost Above Average podcast on the McMedia Network. I am Chris McIntyre. I don't know who this guy is.
I'm just an idiot in front of a camera. Good luck, everybody.
John,
Do your research.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.